Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will show you step by step how to make this beautiful and very fun beaded bracelet. If you like it, stay with me and let's begin. I used this size 11 Toho beads as the main one. You will need at least 10 grams of these beads. I also use 3 colors of size 6 Toho beads. I have them in bags of 5 grams. From each bag I needed less than half of the beads. You will also need beading threads. I use this white Miyuki beading thread, beading needle and scissors. More detailed information about materials that I used you can find in the description below. So let's begin. Take the length of the threads that you feel comfortable working with. Then we take one bead and put it down. It is necessary to leave the end of the thread at least 50 cm long. Later we will make a clasp there. Now we need to pass the needle through these beads, but from opposite side, like this, and pull. Next we need to pick up 21 beads. And now we need to pick up 2 more beads. Then we skip these 2 beads and pass the needle through the next 2 beads, like this, and pull. Next, to the end of the row, we continue in the same way. We pick up 2 beads, skip 2 beads, and pass the needle through the next 2 beads. The last 2 beads in this row I added a little differently. Now we need to make another row using only size 11 beads for now. We'll pick up 2 beads at a time, skip the next 2, and pass the needle through the next 2 beads that are protruding. We finish this row and then start adding size 6 beads. So let's continue. So from this row we will start adding size 6 beads. I take different colors in random order. And first I'll show you how to add these beads in the middle of the beading and then around the edges. It will be a little different. We make the first and second pairs as usual. Now take one size 6 bead and pass the needle through the two protruding beads, like this. And we finish the rest of the row as usual. And here we remember that the last two beads, which we place in the row that goes from bottom to top, I added a little differently. That's it, and we're ready to continue. Now we make this row as usual until we reach the blue beads. At this point we need to pick up two beads and go through one blue bead, as if we were going through two protruding beads. And then, until the end of the row, we continue as usual. And now look, when we have reached the point where the colored bead and two beads on each side of it line up in a straight line, we need to pass the needle through this entire line, like this. And we can continue as usual. Let's add an orange bead here. And we finish this row as usual at this point. So at this place we already know how to make it. We pick up two beads as usual and pass the needle through the orange bead. We have reached the blue beads again. And now we will pass through it with two beads for the last third time. That is, we must go into each of the colored beads 3 times. And now we can continue as usual. At this point, when we have reached the blue bead, we need to skip it and pass the needle through these two beads, like this. We have reached the orange bead. Here's the place where the orange bead and two beads on each side are lined up in one row. So we pick up two beads and go through this row with 5 beads, like this. And we complete this row as usual. Now I'll show you how to add a colored bead at the very bottom. The first step will be repeated. We simply pick up one colored bead and pass the needle through the two protruding beads. And then we continue as usual. We have reached the orange bead, and since we've already gone through it 3 times, we pick up 2 beads, skip the orange bead, and pass the needle through the next 2 beads. We have finished this row and ready to continue the next one. We make it as usual until we reach the yellow bead. Now we need to pick up 2 beads and go through the yellow bead. Now we need to move the thread so we can continue. That's all, and we continue as usual. So we have reached our yellow bead. Now we need to go through it the last third time. Now we need to pick up 2 beads and pass the needle through the 2 beads that we just placed. And here we are finished. Now we need to get to the top as usual, and then I'll show you how to add a colored bead to it. Now let's add a blue bead to the very top. We have reached the top blue bead, and now we need to take 2 beads and then go through the 2 protruding beads and 1 blue, like this. Now we need to move the thread so that it comes out from the bottom of the blue bead. Done, and we can continue. And now I'll show you how to complete this top bead place. Well, continue in the same way until the bracelet reaches the length you need. And next I'll show you how to make a clasp. So the main part of the bracelet is ready. We don't hide the remaining end of the thread at the end, but leave it for the clasp. Now we need to put it aside for some time in order to make one of the part of the clasp. Take a new thread, take it about 80 cm long, and then pick up one bead and put it down. There is no need to leave too much thread at the bottom, it just should be enough to tie a couple knots and hide it into the beads. Now we need to pass the needle through this bead, but from the opposite side, like this. And we need to pick up 7 beads. Take one more bead, then skip one bead and pass the needle through the next one, like this. Next we pick up one bead again, then skip one bead and then pass the needle through the next one. We continue like this until the end of the row. Now let's move on to the next row. We make it in a similar way. Take one bead and pass the needle through the protruding bead, like this. We continue this way until there are 4 beads in the top and bottom rows. It's done, and now we need to connect the 2 sides. This will need to be done by passing the needle in a zigzag way through the protruding beads. Now I'll tighten everything up properly. You can do this right away as you work. I did this on purpose that you can better see the connection process. And now let's secure the top a little. Now we need to take one colored beads and 3 11 size beads and then put them down. Now we need to pass the needle through the orange bead and then through the adjacent two beads, like this. Now we need to go through the next pair of beads from bottom to top and then through the orange bead. Then we need to pass the needle through all three beads at the top and again through the orange beads and then through the next couple of beads, like this. As a result, we must capture all 4 pairs of beads under the orange bead. Now we need to move the threads down and do the same thing, only on the other side. Ready, now we need to make a few knots if you like and hide the threads in the beads. Then cut the remaining end of the thread. So part of the clasp is ready. Next we need to make loop and sew this part of the bracelet. Now let's make a loop. First we need to thread the remaining end of the thread into the needle and we will begin. Now we need to move the thread so that it comes out from here. And we are ready to continue. Next I will show you step by step how to make a loop for the clasp. And now we will just need to make several rows as we did at the very beginning of the bracelet. We take 2 beads, skip 2 beads and pass the needle through the next 2 beads. And we need to make 2 more such rows. The loop is ready, and on this side of the bracelet we only need to tie a few knots and hide the threads in the beads, and then we will cut off the remaining end of the threads. And next I will show you how to sew this part of the bracelet. So this side is completely ready. Now we will sew on this element, and before it I need to make 1 more row first, so the sides look the same. We make it in the usual way. Now the sides look the same, and we can start to attach the clasp. Well, the clasp is attached. All we have to do is hide the threads in the beads, tie a knot at the same time, and then cut off the remaining end of the threads. And our bracelet is ready. Thank you for being with me in this video. I hope you liked this bracelet and the process of making it was clear for you. And see you in next videos. Bye.